Yeah. It's Big C. Fin Posse Podcast in the building. If you hating on the Fins, turn this up louder. I grew up on Shula. Chalk lines, cold rain, Marino in the pocket, dropping dimes, pure flame. 7-2 perfect, you can't say a thing back. Undefeated on your head, living rent-free fact. Jason Taylor off the edge, helmets turn to skyward. That thumping chest, every hit like a siren. You talking about rings, get your history straight. We the reason that the word perfect holds weight. It's that Fin Posse, rage, turn the volume up. Hey, slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. Yeah, Larry C. Sonka in the mud, blood on his mouthpiece. Ricky in the backfield, making whole crowd screech. Wake off the snap count, quarterbacks daydreaming. By the time they look up, all they see is teal streaming. You forgot about Grease, you forgot about Twilly, you forgot Nat Moore. Going up, getting silly from Marino to OLINE, same jersey. We've been airing that thing out since before you that 30. Posse, raise, turn the volume up. Y'all slick on Miami, you get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, rage, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get the story right. This for the diehards, slamming doors on the loss. This for the old heads still quoting Shula talk. This for the kids wearing jerseys in June, waiting all year just to scream in the room. It's that Fin Posse rage, turn the volume up. Talk slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse rage, put respect on the name. Big C in the crew, let them drown in the shame. It's the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. Fin Posse Podcast, get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Yeah. Check it. From the 305 to the world. Big C on the mic. Welcome to the inner circle. You know what it is. Yeah. Clock hits noon, ready for the breakdown. Big C stepping up, holding down the town. The Fin Posse Podcast, yeah, we talking shop. Fresh off the field, never gonna stop. For the fans, by the fans, that's the code. Every single snap, every yard on the road. We dissect the stats, every gain, every loss. Breaking down the tape, checking every cross. Fins up, hold it high to the sky. Hard hitting talk, no need for a lie. From the trenches to the end zone, we keep it true. The Fin Posse, yeah, we waiting for you. Fins up, let the rivals all see. It's the daily grind, it's the podcast, it's Big C. Yeah. Keep it locked, Fins up. Big C. Posse move. Word.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Wow. The Miami Dolphins and the Washington Commanders had their preseason game last night, and we're going to talk about it a little bit here today, a special show on a Saturday. But yeah, let's say good morning to the chat. Yeah, it's still morning time. Good morning to the chat. I started a little bit later today. I seen that Dolphin Collective was going to go live at 10. So, you know, you can't compete with the big boys. So I funny story, actually. I'll get into it in a minute, but I wanted to give people opportunity to watch their show and to be able to also partake in this show. Marcos, good morning. Michael K, good morning. I Dolman, good morning. What's Dolman got to say? Let's see. Need to trade Dotson for Will Levis. Our free agent signed Jimmy Garoppolo's backup quarterback. Ewers and Miller need to go. Other option, wait for a waiver wire, maybe get a Taylor Green. Ted Hurst, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 1 drop. Ball stripped from hands in end zone. No touchdown. The Redskins didn't dress 26 key players yesterday. J-Rod, only 1 tackle, no assist, poor start. Listen, obviously, for those of you who watched the Miami Dolphins preseason game, you couldn't have asked for a better start from the offense, right? And listen, we'll get into the negatives of it here in a second, but the offensive line looked good. They were getting push up front in the run game. HN looked like typical HN. I'm not quite sure why Jeff Hafley decided to even play HN. I think that's risky business. You know what you got in HN, right? And I just don't know if it's smart playing our running back and putting mileage on him in the preseason. You know what I mean? I just don't know if that was a good idea. But listen, HN looked good. Malik Willis, he did the things you need to see him do yesterday. He made some throws downfield. He escaped pressure. He rolled out, threw on the run, ran a couple times. So I seen everything I need to see out of Malik in a preseason game. Very, very good. Very, very good. It was nice to see a quarterback for once that was able to escape pressure and, run and not worry about him dying on the field. So I'm super happy about that. What else? Caleb Douglas. I've been one of the biggest critics of Caleb Douglas that there is. Caleb Douglas looked good yesterday. He looked good. He did have the one mistake where he caught the ball and stepped out of bounds. I'm not going to hold that against him. I think that's something that he'll clean up. He'll take care of. He had the one-handed catch, which was that was impressive. To go up and snag that ball and get it with one hand. They did call pass interference on the defense. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but it was kind of an offensive pass interference if you go back and watch it. But I was impressed with Caleb Douglas. I really was. He's got potential. The kid's got talent. I've always said that the kid's got the traits, right? He's got the traits. He's just need to clean up the things that are negative about him. The drop passes, the mental mistakes, that the stepping out of bounds. Like I said, I'm not going to hold that against him. I think that's something he can clear up. I'm not mad at him. There was actually people blaming Malik Willis for him catching the ball out of bounds, which blows my mind. The ball was in the field of play. Absolutely 100%. Was the ball placement perfect? No. Could it have been better? It could have been a better pass. Yes, absolutely. But to blame the quarterback for the receiver not knowing where he is on the field and making the catch blows my mind. It blows my mind. Dolman with the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, brother. He says, Big Suey, who would you like to see become quarterback to if you agree the current room beyond Willis are lost causes? Listen, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, Dolman, for sure. I don't know what's happened to Quinn Ewers over the course of the last month and a half, but he does not look like the same guy. Cam Miller wasn't good neither. But the way I see it, I wouldn't be in a rush to go out and get a backup quarterback. I wouldn't be in a rush. And I say it because for this reason. Most people in this chat, if you've been here long enough, know how I feel about this season as far as the Miami Dolphins are concerned. Yes, I was pleased with what I seen out of the first team offense yesterday, but it does not change my opinion on how I think this team finishes this year. If, in my opinion, just my opinion, if Malik Willis gets hurt and goes down for any amount of games, the season's a wash anyway. So I don't think there's a backup quarterback that you could add at this point that is going to make that big of a difference. If Malik Willis goes out and gets hurt and has to miss any extended amount of time, the Dolphins are in trouble regardless. So yeah, I mean, you would think, I'm hoping that Quinn Ewers can figure it out, and I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's having some mental issues right now, kind of like Sam Darnold did back when he was with the Jets. Hopefully he can get figured out. I think we seen last year Quinn Ewers is capable of playing meaningful football in the NFL. You know what I mean? It's not like we haven't seen him take meaningful snaps and play pretty decently. So he's capable of doing it. We just got to figure out what's wrong with him. And they got to fix it. They got to fix it. But to me, I don't think it's super crucial to go out and get if this was a playoff roster, absolutely, you got to go out and figure something out. But I don't see this as a playoff roster. So to me, if, you know what I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily be in a super rush to go out and sign a quarterback. Quarterbacks, at least decent ones, they're not going to be cheap. We don't have a lot of money left. We got some, but to me it would be kind of pointless in my opinion. Stainless Ninja says, which 27 quarterback prospect is your favorite? It's early. It's too early for me to tell. It's a long season. I'm sure there'll be guys that come out the woodworks and impress me, and he might take that top spot. Obviously, I like Arch Manning's pedigree. He's got to really improve on a lot of things, though, in my opinion. I like Lenore Sellers. I like, Moore from Oregon. He's got some good traits. There's a bunch of different guys, and I have to do some more in-depth analysis of those guys because I don't watch a ton of college football. I just, when draft time comes around, that's when I really focus in and watch the tape on these guys, and you know what I mean? But as the season goes on, I don't watch a lot of college football. The problem with the dead cat money is if you cannot afford any reliable backups, and this is where your team really hurts. Again, the Miami Dolphins offense yesterday, that first drive, the offensive line, Caden Proctor, I was super impressed with, especially when they were pulling him. He's athletic. He's athletic for his size. I was surprised Chris Johnson played. I wasn't expecting him to play, especially because he missed the joint practice. I wasn't expecting Austin Jackson to play. So they really surprised me. They threw out that starting offensive line, and they looked good. Jonah looked good. Jonas Vayanaya looked good. But people, don't get too high. Be excited for what you've seen, but understand what you've seen also. The Miami Dolphins played the Washington Commanders' second-string guys. You know what I mean? They played their second-string guys. So you're happy that the Miami Dolphins starting unit went down and did what they were supposed to against lower competition. But you got to understand it was still lower competition. So, again, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to raid on the parade, but you got to understand. You got to understand what we've seen. You got to understand what we've seen. If Willis goes down, we're going over. And Happy Evelyn, that's why I'm saying that it's not a. I'm not going to press going out and get a backup quarterback. If Malik Willis goes down, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. But I thought Malik Willis, he looked good last night. The offensive line looked good. Achane looked good. Caleb Douglas, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And it's not that I want Caleb Douglas to fail. It's not. I just don't love the mistakes. I don't love the mental errors that he makes. I don't love the drops. And again, I'm not holding him catching the ball out of bounds against him yesterday. That's something he can clear up. The one-handed grab, it was very nice. It probably was offensive pass interference, though. Go back and watch it. If you don't believe me, I'm not trying to hate. But I think what we've seen was the real problem for this Miami Dolphins team yesterday is the Miami Dolphins have no depth. That's the real issue with this football team. I mean, yeah, there's a couple positions on this Dolphins football team where they lack quality starters. But the major issue with this football team is there's no depth. There is zero depth. If the starters go down, it's over with. And why don't you have any depth? You don't have any depth because you don't have any salary cap. You don't have any depth because you had $182 million in dead cap space. Glenn says, why didn't you say that during practice with Washington when we had 4 starters out during that time? Because it's practice, Glenn. And our quarterback was there, right? But this was a game, correct? I mean, are we supposed to ignore that the Miami Dolphins first unit went against Washington, second unit, third unit? Are we supposed to ignore that? Are we supposed to ignore that the Washington Commanders had over 24 people not play yesterday? Are we supposed to ignore that our defense didn't go up against Jalen Daniels or Terry McLaurin or Stephon Diggs? Or we're supposed to ignore all that? We're supposed to not mention that? Hush, hush. See, hopeful. I was impressed with Caleb Douglas. But again, I'm not willing to jump out the window. And if I'm wrong about Caleb Douglas, I will happily say I'm wrong. I'll happily say I was wrong about the kid. I was going to start today's show and I forgot actually. So thanks for reminding me. I want to admit to some things I was wrong about right now from last year. Going into the season, I wasn't happy with the signing of Malik Willis because I thought we should have just went into the season with Quinn Ewers as our starting quarterback, seeing what we had from him, and then select our quarterback in the 2027 draft. I was wrong about that. Quinn Ewers clearly isn't the answer of a quarterback. And I'm glad that the Miami Dolphins didn't go into the season with Quinn Ewers as the starter. So I will gladly say that I was wrong about that. Absolutely. Glenn says it was not offensive passing. The guy was holding Caleb's arms down. Caleb's running away from the guy. How is he holding Caleb's arm down? Caleb extended his arm into the guy. Go back and watch the tape. Then the guy pulled his arm down. No, then Caleb was hand fighting. No, Caleb was running. That don't make no sense, Glenn. He was running away from the guy. And then he jumped for the pass, extended his arm into the Washington defender, and then the Washington defender, catching up to Caleb Douglas, was pulling his arm down. Go and watch it, Glenn. In slow motion. Go watch it. We had Ewers. We didn't win any games. We did win a game last year with Quinn Ewers. We did. You can extend as an offensive player. You can push off. No, you cannot push off, Glenn. What rules are you talking about, brother? That you cannot push off as an offensive player. I can't believe you just said that. Please tell Glenn that you're not allowed to push off as an offensive receiver. And I invite everybody to go back and watch it. And if you can be honest with yourself, it wasn't a huge move, but if it was pass interference on anybody, it should have been on the receiver. Thank you, Marcos. No, you cannot extend your arm. That's where they call the interference, brother. That's where they decide if it's really a push off, is if the arm's extended. Typically, they'll let you touch the corner, but if your arm extends out, typically that's when the flag drops. And that's exactly what Caleb Douglas did. But again, great concentration to go up there and snag that ball out the air. That's what's more important, not whether it's a flag or not. Who cares? You know, it was a preseason game. The fact that he has the capability of doing that is more meaningful to me. And again, I was impressed with the kid. I was. And I hope that I'm completely wrong about him. And so far, so good, right? Let's talk about the game. Obviously, the game 27. The Commanders win 20-7. Malik Willis was 4 of 5 for 80% completion, 43 yards, 102 passer rating. Had a couple scrambles also. 2 runs for 9 yards, 4.2 yards average. Boy, but with them backup quarterbacks bad. Were they bad? The other quarterbacks together were 4 of 19, 20% completion for 66 yards, 3 interceptions, and had a combined rating of 2. A combined rating of 2. Absolutely unacceptable. They got to get it figured out. Achane ran the ball 7 for 39, 5.6 yards a carry, a touchdown. Achane looked like Achane. You know what I mean? I wasn't super excited to see him in the game. I am, because I'm a fan and I love to watch him. I love to watch him run, but I definitely don't want to see the unnecessary wear and tear on him. We know what we got in Achane. I think it's pointless to play him out there in preseason. I just want to be risking his health. Ollie Gordon, 7 carries for 39 yards, 5.6 yards a carry. Jalen Wright, 6 for 22, 3.7 yards a carry. Caleb Douglas, 1 catch, 28 yards. Tolbert, 1 catch, 27 yards. Malik Washington, 3 for 15. He's going to be Malik's security blanket. He's going to be that guy that Malik goes to when he's in trouble. that underneath guy. And I think that's a good role for MALIK. You got your guys. You got Douglas who can spread the field and get downfield and make those types of plays. And I would use MALIK as that underneath safety net. Again, nothing too spectacular, but again, they did what they were supposed to do, and that's promising, right? That's promising. Again, they could have went out there and struggled against the Washington's backups, and then we'd have real questions, right? We'd have huge questions. But no, they went out and did what they were supposed to against lesser competition. Very happy with the offensive line, though. Very satisfied with that, even though they didn't go against Washington's top defenders. I would have liked to see them match up against the top defenders. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about the offense. And I was checking out I was checking out Pete's channel yesterday, late last night. I was a little disappointed. They was naming all the Dolphin shows, didn't name mine. That humbles me. You know what I mean? That humbles me. I'm not as big in this community as I thought. Maybe as I was allowing my ego to think that I was. They named all the shows. They named Miss Finn's. They named just all the shows, and they didn't name mine, which was kind of crazy because a couple of those people that were talking and naming the shows are consistently here. But they were talking about a bunch of stuff. Obviously, they were super excited. Pete has his thoughts about things. He felt like the Miami Dolphins were sabotaging. The team was sabotaging Quinn Ewers, and that's why Quinn Ewers struggled. What else did they have to say over there last night? They thought that this means we're going to the playoffs and the Super Bowl and this, that, and the third. But it is what it is. Mark says, I need to see MALIK against first stringers. Yesterday proved physical talent, but against backups, they're named casuals. Yeah. Second time should have drafted a quarterback, right? I mean, listen, I'm trying to be about as positive as I can be about this football team. And yesterday they went up against backups, yes. Yes. And you can be excited about what happened. Because the Miami Dolphins did what they were supposed to again. Did what they were supposed to do against lesser talent. But when the games matter and things are equal, are they really going to be equal? If this team loses Willis or HN, this team will lose every game and some badly. And that's why I said I'm not in a super rush to go out and get a quarterback. I'm not. Because if MALIK goes down, we're in grave danger. Dolman says, Jonnu Smith says he wants to be a Dolphin. Consider? I would, Dolman. Honestly, I would. Why not? He's another security blanket. He's got great run after the catch potential. He had a career year here with Miami. Yeah, that was under Mike McDaniel. He's a better receiver than anyone we currently got on the roster as far as tight ends go. So I would be for it. Do I think the Dolphins make that move? I don't. Because I think that Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan, and I continue to preach this, just because they're not coming out outright and saying that this team's going to be bad, just because they're not completely saying, oh, this is a complete rebuild, blah, 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 blah. Just because they're not saying that doesn't mean they don't understand where we're currently at as a franchise. And I think that they realize that Jonnu Smith, although he would help this offense, is not going to be enough to change the forecast of this Dolphin season. He's just not enough. Yeah, he may win us one or two more games, but that still doesn't put us in the playoffs. And you have other holes to worry about. You got a secondary that is going to be bad this year. It's going to be bad. You got a wide receiver room that I still feel is severely overmatched and will be most games. Yes, Caleb Douglas looked good yesterday, but how's he going to look when he has a number one corner on him, constantly shadowing him? And yeah, he's going to draw that. He's going to draw that coverage from the opposing team because he's the wide receiver on this team with the most upside. You sat here for months and told us Miami overdrafted Douglas. Now you see why they drafted him in the third. That humble pie does not taste good. Do you think? Find something to criticize about Caleb. I'm not. First off, I don't have to try to find anything to criticize Caleb about. And I'm not eating humble pie quite yet, my friend. I'm not changing my opinion. Has he been better than a 5th round pick? Yeah. So far, the Miami Dolphins are justified taking him in the 3rd round. Absolutely. So I don't feel as of right now he was overdrafted. But if and when he exceeds the 3rd round draft pick status, I don't mind saying that I was wrong. I don't mind saying I was wrong. I mean, I'm trying to be ultra positive about Caleb Douglas and be positive as a Dolphin fan. But if I wanted to be a dick about Caleb Douglas, I could say the one catch he did make yesterday, he interfered with the defensive back to make it, and then his dumb ass made a stupid ass mistake and caught the football out of bounds instead of knowing where he was on the football field. I could be real critical of him. I could be super critical of him. Yeah, Michael K. I'm trying to. I thought I was being super nice about Caleb Douglas, but I'm supposed to eat humble pie for a one catch performance when he interfered on that one catch. He should have had another big catch, but he lacked the awareness to realize where he was on the field, which is a huge mistake. But I let that go, and I wasn't holding that against him. And I'm still not. I'm not going to allow other people to affect my feelings on Caleb Douglas. He looked good to me. He looked good. And I'm happy. I'm not mad if he makes me out to be wrong. I'm a Dolphin fan. If he makes me out to be wrong, that's good for me. It might not be good for my podcast, but it's good for me as a Dolphin fan. And again, I would think people would respect real takes. I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's ass. I'm not lying to you to get a view. I'm not trying to misinform you to get a view. I tell you how I truly feel. And if I end up being wrong about the way that I felt I admit it. I'll admit it. I'm just telling people not to get too high on uh, this Caleb Douglas train because you just don't know. Joe Blanco says Caleb could have easily been a dud, and we don't know yet if he is. This is still just preseason. Not one veteran receiver would have got pass interference with that play. Now, if they did not call any penalty, I would have been okay with that. Glenn, I'm saying, and I'm telling you, I watched the play, watch it over again. It was a pass interference. They did call pass interference, but it wasn't on the defense. It was an offensive pass interference. Again, I'm not mad that they called it on Washington. I'm a Dolphin fan. Why would I be mad? But that doesn't mean we can't speak the truth. We can't speak the truth. You know, not speaking the truth doesn't make it any less true. Joe Blanco says, I mean a dud by making 0 plays all camp and preseason, plenty third round picks, never even flash. Joe Blanco, you're absolutely right about that. And he looks promising. He does. And I don't want to take anything away from the kid. The drops, they bother me. They do bother me. But I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. He's been impressive. I'm liking what I seen yesterday. And I hope we continue to build on that. I did. The Dolphin defense had his arm restricting Caleb Douglas's arm. That is defensive pass. Glenn, he extended his arm into the defender, and then the defender pulled his arm down. That's what happened. Watch the play. Caleb Douglas initiates the contact, extending the arm. Caleb Douglas is ahead of the corner, obviously. He's running away from him. The corner catches up to Caleb Douglas, runs into the arm, pulls the arm down. They call pass interference. Let me see if I can find it without getting. Oh, of course, 30-second ad. Let's see if I can show it real quick. Once he pulled his arm down, the offensive player interference. You cannot extend your arm into the defensive back, Glenn. Once he did that, that's pass interference on the offense. Like, you're wrong about your knowledge of what the penalty is. Damn it. It's not bigger on your. Damn it. Hold on, let me see if I can get a different one. Yeah, that's not the other one's not a good view. Yeah, I don't know what view you watched. You got to watch the one that's coming back from the defense. Look at he couldn't impede how his arm even get over there, Glenn? The defender is behind him. The arm is behind. The defender is behind him. Why would he reach his arm back? The defender didn't reach over and grab his arm, pull it to him. You're absolutely crazy with that. You're absolutely crazy. You're wrong about that, Glenn. Again, Miller, he had one catch for 28 yards, and like I said, impressive catch, whether it was offensive pass interference or not. Like I'm giving him his flowers. I'm giving him his props. I don't care that he stepped out of bounds on the one play. That's something he can fix. But that is part of the mental errors, the mental mistakes that I've been critical about. Thank you, Joe. Glenn thinks it was defensive pass interference. I am telling Glenn that he extended his arm into the defender. The defender was playing the ball, got touched by Caleb Douglas, and reacted running into Douglas and pulling his arm down simultaneously. But Douglas initiated the contact, extended his arm into the defender. That should have been offensive pass interference. Glenn Miller, it was not defensive pass. It was offensive pass interference, 100%. Like, I'm a Dolphin fan, and I'm glad that it got called defensive pass interference. I'm super stoked about it. But we can be truthful here. It was offensive pass interference. It was 100% offensive pass interference. Questions answered, not by. Again, I'm happy with what the Miami Dolphins did against Washington's backups. But it's not enough for me to jump on some kind of bandwagon to say, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl, folks." I still don't see us any better than what I said, 6 wins max. Yes, a rookie can have mistakes. They can. Absolutely. I said that's why you can't count on these guys to take you to the playoffs, because they're going to have mental and rookie mistakes. They're going to make those rookie mistakes. They absolutely can. Miller, the ball was there by the time the defender ran into the corner or the receiver. He extended his, like, I don't want to keep going back and forth. The play benefited the Dolphins. I'm happy about that. But it kills me that you, even after it's all said and done, like, you can't still admit that what the play really was. Like, let's say he would the ball would have hit the ground, but they would have still ruled it a catch. I'm not mad if they would have still ruled it a catch, but we can't be man enough to say, yeah, that ball hit the ground. You know what I mean? You guys need to check up on your rules, my friends. Miller, you were saying Quinn Ewers needed to go, but you were speaking for Cam Miller. Cam Miller was no better. Let's be easy. It was not that. Sure, Miller, he clearly was the wide receiver one on this football team. Clearly. And that's definitely a positive. That was not even in the same realm as the Odell Beckham catch. It was a good catch. Don't get me wrong. Odell's catch was absolutely crazy. Odell caught the ball with 3 fingers. I'm not crying for a bad call Edelman, but that does not eliminate the fact that it was a pass interference. Was it a horrible pass interference? No. What my initial comment was, if they were going to call pass interference on that play, it would have been offensive, not defensive. That's the only thing I said. I'm not even saying they should have called interference to begin with necessarily. But if there was an interference on that play, it was definitely offensive. But Glenn, that whole comparing it to the Odell catches, they're not in the same realm. They're not in the same universe. Caleb Douglas catch was a very good catch. Okay, Idolman, because refs don't get it wrong ever, right? Stop that, Glenn. Stop. Regardless if Odell's play was pass interference. See, I hate when people concentrate on something so small and it takes 45 minutes to argue with over something that you're not mad about. I'm not mad that the defender got called for pass interference. I'm not. It benefited the Miami Dolphins. So why am I arguing for a half hour about something so minute that you guys are wrong about anyway? That you're wrong about. You just told me a few minutes ago that it was okay to extend your arm into the corner, but you're going to tell me what defensive pass interference is. Again, Miller, hold your hype. Can you lower it just this much? You're giving the guy a gold jacket through training camp and a preseason game where he went up against second stringers. So far, he's gone up against Washington backups and guys on the Dolphins that worst unit in all of football, worst corner room in all of football. That's who his competition's been so far. I don't think they're going to make a trade for cornerback too. I don't think they will. Quinn Ewers showed that he can win in this league. They got to figure out what's wrong with him. But this franchise, and I keep saying it, Jeff Hafley knows where this franchise is. He knows that this franchise is not a playoff contending team. They're not going to waste precious assets to go out and bring in a quarterback. If Malik Willis goes down, it's a wrap. Glenn, that's what he did. He pushed the defender. He pushed the defender. Miller, that's not you're first off, you're lying. You have no proof nor evidence of that. You have no proof or evidence of that. What do you think you're going to get for Dotson? You couldn't get you could get a fourth rounder for an all pro in Jordan Brooks, but you think you're going to get something of value for Dotson? We're talking about a fifth, sixth, seventh round pick. You're not going to get, and I like Dotson, and I think he's more valuable than that. But if they were only going to give up a fourth for Jordan Brooks, what do you think you're going to get for Dotson? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. What do you think you're going to get? The Miami Dolphins aren't making any major moves. I'm sorry. It's just, I'll be highly shocked if they make a major move. I will be. I keep telling you, Jeff Hafley knows what this team is. John Eric Sullivan knows that this year is a year that they just got to get through. This year's about getting the young players playing time, seeing where they're at. progressing the rookies that they drafted, studying and analyzing the players that were already here, the young nucleus of players that were already here, and seeing if they're worth anything, and building this team through the draft. And they only have had one draft. Will Howard's not getting released. Drew Arlar's not, you know what I mean? You think Drew Arlar's going to unseat Aaron Rodgers? Again, Quinn Ewers is cooked. You would have said that about Malik Willis if you would have said that after 2 years, right? Quinn Ewers showed that he can play football and win in this league. I don't know what's happened this year, but they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. But I was impressed with our starting guys last night. Again, I'm not allowing myself to get too hyped because it was a preseason game. It was one preseason game where we went up against backups. We're still not going to know truly what this team's going to look like until we go up against, week 1. That's when we're going to know. He might, Edelman, he might. At this point, he might. Something happened. Maybe him realizing that he never really had a shot at the starting job threw him off. Because in minicamp, he outperformed Malik a lot of days. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's like, screw it. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get released. Maybe. That's a dangerous game to play, though. That's a dangerous game. But yesterday, the Dolphins offense did what they were supposed to do against Washington's backups. They drove down the field. They looked good doing it. The offensive line looked good. Caleb Douglas made the one-handed catch that was impressive. It was an impressive catch, regardless of the interference. It was impressive. I don't think he needed I don't know if an interference call even needed to be made. I'm just saying if it wasn't interference, it was offensive interference. But regardless, still an impressive catch. Malik Washington's going to be that safety blanket. Achan's going to be Achan. If they bring in Jonnu, I think it would help. But I doubt that they make that move. I really do. I doubt that they make it. What I took away from yesterday is the lack of depth is concerning, and injuries are going to happen. Injuries are going to happen, and that's going to be the major downfall of this football team, is that we don't have any quality depth. And Miller, you keep making statements that you have no evidence. The edge room's demise was greatly extravagant. Excited to see what they can bring this year. Why do you make that statement? I'm a why guy. If you make a statement, I got to know why. I want some evidence to support it. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share. We're getting close to the fantasy football. Let me know. Email me, send me, let me know if you're in. 12 people have not smashed that like button. It's so easy to hit the like button, folks. It helps tremendously. You know, I try to give everybody an opportunity to come on and talk, and I interact with everybody. At the very least, hit that like button for me, please, please. It helps the channel grow. You have no idea how much it helps. It's so important to the channel. Do your part, please. I beg of you. If you like the content, you like to go back and forth with me. You might not agree with what I say. You don't have to agree with what I say to hit the like button. This is a platform for all of you to speak your minds. Joe, I'll drop it real quick. I got about 10, 15 minutes left before I got to get out of here. But I'll drop in and let people give their opinion on yesterday. Just real quick, don't speak over people. Don't yell, shout. There's none of that. We don't need that. Keep it respectful. Give your opinion about yesterday if you'd like, and how you feel after a promising yet just, worrisome first preseason game. I mean, I heard a lot of crazy takes, yesterday.
His smile faded so quick.
I know that's some shit come out your mouth.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Hey, man. When we getting the Malik jersey?
I mean, I'm
for real though. That first drive, we expected to see at least one hiccup. I didn't see none. I know it's all scripted, but I mean, Malik Willis is looking really good, man.
I mean, he looked all right. I don't think he looked anything crazy good. I mean, I didn't think anything was crazy special about it.
Our last rush.
I think he can play the
Snoop.
I think
Snoop Huntley. He made Snoop Huntley's runs look ridiculous.
Listen, I think he can play the position. I think that he's a decent player, but there's nothing that I seen yesterday that I was like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, look at that! I can't believe he made that play.
That one pass where Caleb Douglas stepped out of bounds. That was a rope, man. That was a 40-yard rope.
Yeah, listen. First off, I think that
never layer that.
First off, I heard a lot of people blame Malik Willis for that pass for Caleb Douglas stepping out of bounds, which I think is absolutely crazy.
100%. That was on Caleb. But I mean, he's a rookie in his first preseason game, and he made an Odell catch.
Again, I'm not. Stop that.
It was an Odell catch. If it wasn't the end zone, it'd be on.
Bro, stop. Yo, you're crazy as fuck. Like, that's what I mean about you guys. You can't just take a little bit of credit. Now you want to compare it to one of the greatest catches ever made.
I mean, it had the same motion.
Bro, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. He caught it with his body first off. Odell caught it with his straight hand, extended.
While he was falling down backwards,
but he had to wrap it with his body.
Bro, that was not the same. It's not even in the same conversation. Not even in the same realm. It was a good catch.
End zone, it would be.
No, it wouldn't be. He knocked the ball down into his body and hugged it. I can't believe we're even bringing that up. That's mind-boggling to me. And that just shows me how delusional some people are.
I'm just saying it's going to be a long, great season. And we have an actual
it's going to be long.
It's going to be real long. The Dolphins are going to be mathematically out of the playoffs by week 8.
Michael, you wish you had a receiver like Caleb Douglas on your team.
I guess DJ Moore never made a name for himself in the league.
Right? DJ Moore had 600 yards last year, man. He's not going to save your franchise.
Well, Miller, now that I got you here, you want to bet that grand that the Dolphins don't sweep us?
How am I going to get you to pay any money to me?
I'll pay. You don't have to worry about me paying. That's the whole point of this bet. You don't have to worry about me paying because I won't have to.
It's what exactly.
You're getting excited because the offensive line on the first drive stopped guys that are going to be working at the dollhouse as bouncers in less than a month. That's impressive.
I mean, your
Listen, I don't want to take anything. I don't want to take anything away from it. I thought our offensive line looked good. Yeah, were they against Washington's backups? Sure, but they still looked good. And I don't have a problem with people being happy for what they've seen. But when you start imagining things, you're imagining that Caleb Douglas's catch, like you're putting this guy on such a mountain that he's never going to be able to live up to your expectations.
No, see, that's the thing. We're not putting him on the mountain. You know my opinion when we first got him. I was not a Caleb Douglas fan. He has,
and now you've completely changed. You just completely you just said it. That catch is on the same planet as the Odell Beckham catch.
Yeah, I mean the man has shown.
We're talking about one catch in the preseason. It was what
compared to one of the greatest catches ever made.
I wouldn't say the greatest.
It wasn't a touchdown.
I think Garrett
it was a 25-yard pass in the preseason.
I don't care if it was a touchdown in the
regular
regular season.
Got away with offensive pass interference to get it.
Even if it was a touchdown in the regular season, it's still not near the catch that Odell Beckham made. Not even close.
They can't even admit that it was DPI, man.
Because it wasn't. Because it wasn't.
If you run through a receiver catching the ball, that's defensive pass interference.
There was contact, but you got to look closer at the contact.
The corner's supposed to look back at the ball. It was
initiated by the receiver.
He was playing the ball. If you watch the play from behind.
Bro, Caleb Douglas had a grasp full of that NFL logo on the jersey and fully extended his arm out. That's offensive pass interference.
He made the initial contact.
It's not like the refs weren't making bad calls the whole night. They called a horse collar that wasn't a horse collar.
Right.
Because the ball was thrown the ball was thrown behind him and high. He was running across towards the sideline.
Yeah. It's like basketball when you want to get a rebound. Do you have your inside arm is kind of pushing off the defender's shoulder or arm?
I think we learned one thing though. I don't care. Caleb Douglas down there somewhere. You know what I mean? He gonna catch that.
I'm happy about the catch, but we got to realize it's one reception in one preseason game.
It's more than just one reception in one preseason game. He has been doing this.
Where have you seen this?
He has a bad contested catch rate in college,
Caleb
right?
Douglas ain't getting but 1 to 2 targets a game or 1 to 2 targets a practice, but then he's coming down with 4 or 6 touchdowns in red zone. So how is he getting only 1 to 2?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about 7-on-7?
We don't even do 7-on-7. We only do 11-on-11s.
And how
that's
many?
That's when he got the touchdowns as 7-on-7s in joint practices. Nobody reported in 11-on-11s that he had 6 touchdowns.
Well, not during the joint practice. I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're not talking about the joint practice either.
Doing our practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's reporting that he had 6 touchdowns in our practices, just our practices. People that are in the building are saying that he's getting 2 passes thrown to him.
But then how does it's getting misreported by other people then, you know what I mean?
No, but I've never seen anywhere say that he had 6 touchdowns in a day.
Well, I mean, 6 is, I'm just saying 6 is a number. I don't think 6 was the number. It's been like a week or 2.
Well, that's what I mean.
So in other words, you're just throwing numbers out there that you don't even know.
I mean, it was at least 4 touchdowns.
At least, now it's at least 4. Come on, bro. You're making stuff up to fit your narrative.
I mean, I'll go look it up and send it to you, man.
I want to talk about this offense though, because aside from that one throw, We had 4 completions on that first drive. 3 of them were short to Malik Washington, and 1 was the Caleb Douglas catch. So to me, that's a very, very average drive, right? Like we're just spamming Washington on these little short routes.
And no yards and no yards after catch.
Yeah,
very first drive
like the offense
preseason
was
game,
moving, was getting it done, but it's not like we saw Malik go out there and just be slinging it, making multiple reads and shit. Like he's just dumping it to Malik Washington for some quick, easy catches. So to me, if we're gonna go here and say like he's the guy from that, we're making the same mistake that we did with Tua.
I can't argue with that, Joe. I can't argue with that one.
We did the same exact thing with Tua. We got all impressed by those screen passes and saying, "Oh, look at the yardage," and he makes an occasional play. And then we committed to that guy, and now we're in the hole we're in.
Now people are forced to stand behind what they've seen in week 1. Week 1 of preseason, you're forced to stand by what you're saying.
This team's going to go where Achane takes it, offensively at least.
And you don't think other NFL Big C, you don't think any other NFL teams are going to shut Achane down when they know that's the only threat there is?
Oh, and I do, and that's my major issue with this football team is that you got Caleb Douglas, and even if he lives up to the hype that a lot of these people think that he's going to live up to, you're going to go up against elite defenses.
Mike.
It's not working.
Sorry, it's crackling a little. I just wanted to let you know.
Is it better now?
Not really.
Better.
Better now?
Way better.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yep. Oh, no.
No, it sounds like you're in the toilet.
Can I say something real quick about that, Mike?
Go ahead.
You asked about what is the team's gonna do when Achane gets shut down and stuff. Like, my thing is like, I think last year really proved that with Achane being the only offensive weapon we had, and despite teams knowing that, they still couldn't shut him down. I mean, the man had 1,500 yards and led the league in yards per carry. I mean, it's going to be very hard to stop Achane just because of who he is.
He's not even a top. Well, he might actually. He's not even the top 5 running back in the league right now, according to the NFL players.
Oh,
there's going to be 5 more running backs in the top 20.
Who is that?
We'll see.
We'll
see.
Cook, Bijan, Henry,
Gibbs.
I thought Henry already was listed. I didn't think Henry's still.
Henry's still trucking. Maybe this will be the year that we see him finally slow down.
Listen, I thought
Henry was already like in the 50s.
I think Achane's a top 5 back, considering that offensive line, how bad it was last year.
My issue though is like, if you watch the top 100 thing that Achane came out on, what did James Cook say about him?
Don't know. Didn't watch it. Didn't care.
You guys hype each other up all the time. Who cares?
What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? He doesn't deserve to be there?
Nah. James Cook literally said Achane's faster.
So?
Great.
We all know he's the
what
guy. That doesn't make him the best running back.
The big debate about the AFC East, about who's the top running back, your running back, who you guys are touting better than ours, is over here saying ours is better.
What's he gonna say? What is he gonna say?
Too. Christian Bedford said, we can't do nothing to stop him.
Miller, I'd love to debate you. Miller, I would love to debate you, but I could get arrested for a hate crime. I really could.
I'm just letting you know, man, like, your team can't even not praise Achane, man.
What are they gonna say? See, you make no sense.
What exactly? What are they gonna
of the other 99 people that are going to be on that list, who has had one thing bad said about them?
Well, I remember Tua when he was on that list. You
I mean,
didn't get the best,
Michael K. This
glowing
is one of the few times I'm gonna agree with
You know
Miller.
what I
Like,
mean?
there's nothing
H-Chain,
bad to
they
say
didn't have
about
to say all
HN.
that. You know what I mean?
HN's one of the top 5 backs in football.
No one put a gun to their head and was like, "Oh, you guys gotta praise this guy."
Are they going to say, "Oh, he's going to be used so much"?
Big C. What do you want to see next game? Right. Personally, for me, I want to see the tight end get used by Malik in the offense. I want to see him spread the ball out to some other receivers. See what we have besides just spamming Malik Washington.
Yeah, I need to see them go against
Your mic's off.
other first teamers.
Yeah. No, your mic's good.
Damn, what the freak? You can hear me?
Yeah, it's just got a slight delay.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear him at all, but that might just be me.
Yeah, I think that's just you, Miller.
Go out and come back in, Miller.
I'll exit and come back.
Yeah, but I want to see them go up against other first team guys. You know what I mean? Not the backups. I want to see them go against guys that they're going to be going up against in the regular season. And you're right. I need to see something from Tutu Atwell, or I need to see something from one of these backup these guys on the receiver in the receiver room that are at the bottom of the list. You know what I mean? Guys that are going to possibly make the team. It can't just be all Malik Washington and Caleb Douglas. It can't be.
Right. No, we need to see about three more pass catchers used. The running backs all looked pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with what I saw in the run game.
And that's because of the offensive line, in my opinion. I mean, obviously you got Achan's going to get his. True talk. You know what I mean? Like, but Ali Gordon, Jalen Wright, I think that's because of the offensive line. And if we can keep our offensive line healthy for the most part, I think that's going to be a pretty good unit for us. True Talk says Big C and Joe Miss must be feeling quite stupid waking up this morning after that beautiful performance. Our first string offense. Why would I?
I'm not even entertaining that stuff, man. People are just trolling at this point if they're making those decisions off one drive.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was happy that we went out there and did what we were supposed to. We went out and we scored against the second team unit of the Washington Commanders. That's what we were supposed to do. I wouldn't call the drive beautiful. I wouldn't have called it magnificent.
If that crazy catch had happened, we'd be having a whole different conversation today.
And I don't even listen. It was a good catch. I don't even say it was a crazy catch. It was a catch that he's probably not making 9 out of 10 times.
I'm just saying, had that catch not been completed, we'd be talking about how Willis went out there and had a dud. Look, he used Malik Washington 3 times. Great.
Yeah, I mean, he did things that I wanted to see him do. He rolled out. He completed passes. He escaped. He ran for yards. Made something out of nothing. So I mean, he did the things I needed to see him do. He would have completed that long pass if it wasn't for Caleb Douglas not knowing where he was on the football field. And I know that a lot of people were criticizing the quarterback for that, which could the ball placement have been better? Sure, but if you get it to the receiver, he's supposed to know where he's at. He's supposed to keep his feet in bounds. That would have been another big play that should have happened. You know what I mean?
We're talking about
he's not going to get credit for. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was one drive against Washington's backups.
Right.
And people don't, they want to ignore that. Oh, well, you weren't saying that against when Washington was going up against our backups.
Achan was running 5.5 yards a carry or whatever it was. Yeah, the offense looked good as a whole on that drive, but I haven't seen enough from the QB yet to know that he's the guy or not. I have seen enough from the backups to know that we're fucking in trouble when it comes to our backup QBs. Those guys were ass.
Well, yeah, I mean, our lack of depth is a major issue for this football team. And that comes from people want to say that the dead cap don't matter. That's where the dead cap really hits you, is that we don't have any money to fill out this roster. That's why there was so many minimum contract guys.
Yeah.
And now you gotta hope and pray that all your guys that you did pay perform above their potential, and you gotta have the guys the rookies that should get a bye year because they're rookies. You need them to perform at a certain level. You need them to perform like high level starters year one. And that was kind of the issue last year. Besides Tua and his issues, we were relying too much last year on rookies to perform at a high level for us to succeed. We were hoping that Jonah could come in and play at a high level at guard last year. We were hoping that Kenneth Grant could take over for Calais Campbell and make up for the loss to him the year before. We were hoping that Rasul Douglas could come in and take over for Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? Like, just a bunch of things.
Well, if these one-year guys end up performing very well, they're going to get very expensive next year, and it's going to be hard to retain the same players without completely emptying our bank immediately.
We're going to have to. You got 40 players that are on 1 year or final year contracts. I think it's 43 actually. 1 year or last year of their contracts.
Yeah. There's a good side and a downside to having a lot of 1 year contracts. Like if we are trying to retain a lot of these guys to bring them back, it's going to get expensive fast.
Yeah, I mean that's the drafting's wonderful and building your team through the draft is wonderful, but eventually if you hit on a bunch of draft picks, you're gonna have to pay a bunch of draft picks, and you got tough decisions to make. But I mean,
but you got those on longer deals, like all these 1 year deals. Like we just have to, if they're playing well, it's going to be tough for us because we're going to be facing the reality of having a whole bunch of new players again next year. Because these guys are going to go get big contracts somewhere else because they performed well. Hopefully they'll want.
No, it's not true talk. Your 14-win prediction is not looking good because of one drive in the preseason. That is absolutely
who do we play next?
The Giants.
Is True Talk the one that said you're going to have 4 1,000-yard rushers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, man, he exists to troll. He is.
Yeah, I mean the way that I love the way Malik threw that guy off of him. He didn't throw the guy off. See, I just don't know if we're watching the same stuff. He ducked. The guy yanked at his horse collar or upper jersey area. He didn't throw the guy off. He didn't stiff arm him. He didn't throw. You know what I mean? Like
the dude grabbed his nameplate.
Yeah, like he says Malik threw him off him. No, that's not what I seen. You know what I mean?
Miller Hendricks, it was Joe Riss that called somebody a troll. It wasn't me. You can't even get that right, Miller.
iDog says, shit, man, I'm just glad we can do a quarterback sneak again. I missed that. I mean, that's definitely a positive. I was happy with the offensive line. I do want to see them do it against starters, though. Can they? I hope so. But it would be nice to see our starters go up against other team starters and have that same kind of success.
How are the Giants DBs? Are they bad? Do they still have Javon Holland?
They're not great. Yeah, they got Javon Holland. I think they signed a couple in free agency. Let me see.
Well, if we were playing them in the regular season, the Giants are one of those teams I'd circle as a possible win. I think we're going to be tested. Week 3 will be tested. Week 2 will be tested a bit. Week 4 and week 1 aren't. Like, we have a lot of easy games early. Easier games.
I wouldn't call that San Francisco game
I'm saying the Raiders and the Vikings are both, very winnable games, regardless of your roster.
Well, the Vikings is week 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like we could go 2-2 and still be like an absolutely dusty team, but because we played the Raiders and the Vikings, it could be misleading.
Let me see.
And then I think we play the Jets after that too. Our schedule doesn't really pick up in difficulty until a little bit later.
You got the second hardest schedule in the NFL right now. The Bears have the first.
Yeah, our schedule, our easier games are towards the front.
Which might benefit us because teams aren't going to have that much film on MALIK and what we're trying to do, So
it's going to build a lot of hopeful people, right? If we're 3-3, 6 games in, because we got wins against the Jets, the Vikings, and the Raiders.
What happens if you go 0-1 against the Raiders? What if you lose the first game?
I think it'll be a reality check for a lot of people. Might be good for us.
It won't be. They'll make excuses. So the Giants corners are Paulson, a Debo, Colton Hood, who's a rookie, I'm pretty sure. Greg Newsome the second.
Okay, so we're still not going
Dante
against
Banks.
a couple guys. I'd say that.
Javon Holland's one of the safeties.
DB rooms in the league. Not like ours, but nothing really stand up.
They're not a great. No. Nope.
Is
their offense gonna probably?
Are we gonna be at full health?
Who?
Us. We weren't missing anyone yesterday?
Not really. Not really. Chris Johnson played, which I was surprised about. Austin Jackson played, and I was surprised about.
Juju Brents?
Juju didn't play. I don't think he did play. Did Juju Brents play yesterday? I'm not sure if he did or not.
Yeah. I'd like to see. I didn't really see much of Jacob Rodriguez. To see more.
One pass breakup, I think. Yeah, I'd like to see more out of Jacob. Yeah, I mean, there's still things that the defense is going to be a major issue, I think. Obviously, the corner room, I think. Yeah, I think the offense will be able to put it. And I've said that all along, that I think that we have a chance of being one of the top rushing teams in the league. What Malik can do out the backfield, Devon Achane. I just think that this improved offensive line, if they're healthy, I think we have a chance to be one of the better rushing teams. And then you just got to make some passing plays throughout the game to stay balanced. But when push comes to shove and teams are like, all right, you've been running the ball all day on us. Now we're about to put a stop to that and make you beat us with Malik's arm and your lack of talented receivers. I think that's where things are going to become an issue for us. And then on the other side of the ball, you got the secondary where teams are going to, all right, now stop this pass. You know what I mean? Stop our passing game. And I think we're going to struggle in those areas.
Oh.
Says if we're a top 5 running team, you don't need no good wide receivers. You can win 8 games, and if the turnovers go your way, you win more than that. I disagree. At some point in every NFL game, you got to throw the football. And Joe, I think the main thing with this, why we have so many people just so excited about so small a sample size of things is that they're damaged from Tua Tagovailoa.
Did you watch
They're
him?
absolutely damaged.
Did you watch his 2 drives with Atlanta? Right.
It
looks like Tua it looked like just how we left him. That Falcons fans are dealing with that right now.
Again, people will sit there and try to say that I'm a Tua-neer because I had faith in Tua at one point, and it wasn't so much the faith I had in Tua, it was the faith that I had in the amount of players that we put around him. You know what I mean? But if anything that shows I'm not a Tua-neer is the fact that I could care less about what he does in Atlanta. I did not go check out what he did for Atlanta yesterday. I didn't check the box
I don't
score.
think that makes you a Tua-neer.
I'm just saying I don't care whatsoever what he does now. He's not a Dolphin. It's always the franchise first and foremost. You know what I mean? I wasn't one of those guys that I cared about Tua. I didn't want Tua to get the contract extension. There was no way that he shouldn't have got the 5th-year option. You know what I mean? I wasn't for that. But I think a lot of people are so damaged that they see a quarterback that can run for a first down that they're like, oh my God. They see a quarterback that can throw the ball 40 yards and not have an issue doing it. And they're just so impressed that they just think the sky's the limit, and they forget about how depleted our roster truly is. They forget that we don't have Tyreek and Waddle and, all these players that we used to have. They forget that we don't have these weapons. Because the issue was always the quarterback. We didn't go anywhere because of the quarterback play. Now we got a quarterback, they're thinking, oh, everything's fixed. Well, now everything else is broken. Not the quarterback spot, but everything else is broken.
We haven't had a good receiver in a long time, too, aside from Hill, obviously. We're not used to seeing what a good receiver looks like. So that catch by Douglas, everyone's putting him on a pedestal now.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've had
Our only good receiver for a long time was Tyreek Hill, who's kind of like a gadget, a very good gadget, right? Borderline Hall of Fame gadget, but we haven't seen a true receiver in a long time since basically, I'd argue, Chris Chambers. Right, I think Jarvis Landry when we had him was a slot guy. We've had these rentals like Mike Wallace and shit like that, and Brandon Marshall and Devontae Parker was okay, but we haven't had a good receiver. A year in, year out.
I think Landry was good. I think the play calling was shit, and I think the lack of.
But with Landry, we were just dumping these little 5-yard dumps to him.
Well, yeah, that was the play calling by Adam Gase,
all right.
And he was limited physically. He was
he wasn't a prototype receiver.
You know what I mean, he wasn't big and tall. He was short. He was a gamer though, but we haven't seen those one-handed catches and stuff since him. Chris Chambers was absolutely phenomenal. Oronde Gadsden was. Back in the day with Marino days, he was out there making those one-handed grabs, and
we haven't had a receiver that's good year in and year out in a long, long time. And so that's why I think people are kind of starved at that position too.
Oh, absolutely. You get a little taste. You get a little taste of it. But again, you don't. Does he make that same play 9 out of 10 times? Probably not. You know what I mean? Hopefully he does, but you can't say that this guy's some great catcher of the football based off one catch. You know what I mean? I just need to see more. Like I'm not allowing myself to be fooled by something that happens once. Lightning strikes.
Yeah.
You need to see a strike more than once.
When Jacob Rodriguez gets his first forced fumble, people are going to come in their pants.
I'm sure
it's
going
to happen.
I'm sure they are. And it's okay to get excited about it. It's okay.
Right.
I'm not mad that people are excited about that Caleb Douglas catch. I was excited about it. I was like, damn, all right, maybe we do got something. And I'll be the first to admit I was wrong about it. But to sit there and then they want to stretch it. Oh, that catch was almost as good as Odell's.
Yeah.
It was just like Odell's. Now you're going a little crazy with things. Now you're taking it a little too far. Now we're supposed to believe that we got a Jamar Chase on our team because he made one catch in the preseason. You know what I mean? I seen people say, "Oh, he plays just like Justin Jefferson." Pump your brakes a little bit. Jeez. You know what I mean? Pump it a little bit. See, hopefully he gets a couple passes thrown to him a day, and you want to say he's been doing it all camp. But what he's also been doing all camp is dropping the football one out of four attempts. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what he had an issue with in college too. But do we have any update on Bell? Is there anything new on him, like when on the time window?
I don't think they know yet. I mean, he's running. We all seen the video of him running the straight line, right? Catching the football on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
But Poupart was there and right next to it, and he said that he could have ran that. He could run that fast. You know what I mean? Which he was joking, but he was just saying, like, you know, don't videos can be deceiving. You know what I mean?
They should probably just shelf him for a while.
Caleb Douglas already top candidate for Rookie of the Year. Are we serious? Like, come on.
That's the problem, Big C. They are serious. That's the issue. These people are serious with the nonsense.
That's just stuff I'm talking about. Like, it's okay to.
You know what I find funny is, guess who else had a great OTA and great camp and great rookie? What was the rookie mini camp? Great preseason, then he sucked. Keon Coleman, same thing. He looked great in the preseason. It gets the game time in the NFL when you're going against real NFL players. Dog shit. Yeah. You know, all the Bills fans were hyped up about Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. All these guys, Rookie of the Year and Odell Beckham type catches.
Well, didn't Malik Willis have great preseasons and his other teams, and then, you know, he's not even on the field? Yeah.
I never really followed Willis. I just know he's a career backup.
Yeah. I mean, these games, you gotta look at like what the development looks like. You can't really look at this and be like, oh, we've got a guy or not. You got to see what you can see is if people are developing or if they have serious flaws. It's kind of like weeding out the players that aren't going to make the roster or are going to hurt your roster, like the QB situation, the backup QB situation. We have a serious issue there.
I don't mind people being like, hey, like, maybe we got, you know, I could see this kid maybe winning, but to say, oh, he's the favorite, like, that's crazy. But to be like, oh, maybe we got one, you know, maybe he could be Rookie of the Year. Like, I'm not mad at that. But the way people just say it so definite, it's definite. It's 100% that we got the next great receiver. Like, that's what bugs me.
He's saying that Miller's saying all three receivers look like hits. Only one of them had a reception, and it was one reception.
You realize it's coming from somebody that needs to follow a recipe to make a peanut butter and jelly, right? He's not sure if you put the peanut butter or the jelly down first.
I like the stuff that comes pre-mixed.
What, the Smucker's peanut butter and jelly?
The squeezables?
Nah, the Smuckers that already comes in the jar. They got it. Actually, that shit's kind of gross now. I tried it as an adult and I didn't like it. But when I was a kid, that shit was awesome. Now you get the frozen jump offs, the Uncrustables.
That's why. But apparently, NFL players eat an insane amount of Uncrustables. Which is the most
They're
childish
just
shit I've ever
easy and
heard.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like crust.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, they these guys can't have like something else that's like that's got to be a marketing thing. It has to be. There's no way they're eating that many Uncrustables. That's got to be whoever makes it. What is it, Smuckers? That's got to be Smuckers having to deal with the NFL.
They got apple jelly ones. Those shits are banging.
These guys are making millions of dollars. They can afford personal chefs and shit. The teams have like the all the chefs. Like, you can't tell me they're just pounding Uncrustables.
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I think that's a marketing ploy by Smuckers.
Preston Williams has the best training camp for any Dolphins wide receiver. And what did Preston Williams do in the regular season, right? I mean, that's exactly my point. Just we've been Dolphin fans for a long time, most of us. We know how things
first round talent.
I mean, he was projected as a first round guy.
Was he though?
Yeah, I think they had him early in.
I don't. I mean, he even with that. Look, we saw another player go in the first round that had an injury. It was Jordan Tyson, right? People were concerned about his injury, yet he still went in the first round. But Chris Bell, who was an apparent first rounder, dropped all the way to the third round. He fell to us. So I don't think calling him a first round talent is appropriate.
I mean, why didn't Caleb Douglas dominate like if he was this guy, why didn't he dominate like this at the collegiate level? Why didn't he dominate in collegiate level? I just don't I don't get it.
Allegedly he was considered a potential late first round, second round pick.
From what I've looked at, he didn't do well in contested catches, right? So like all of his traits of big hands, tall, long, like if you're going for a jump ball, those should be things that give you.
Oh, what a pass!
Defender.
Allen's already out there throwing dimes. None of this 4 and 5 yard shit.
Oh shit! It's
You
1 o'clock.
talking about Caleb Douglas?
No, I'm talking about Josh Allen, a real
No,
quarterback.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
Joe.
I'm talking about
Oh.
Caleb Douglas. Like one of the things about him in college was that like you would think for a receiver with those intangibles that the 50-50 balls he'd have the advantage and it wouldn't be really a 50-50 ball, but he didn't have a good statistically. He was not good with the 50-50 balls.
Well, coverage is definitely going to be tighter when the regular season gets here, and we're gonna see what happens. You know, I hope the best for the kid. I really do. I hope that he continues to play at this level that people feel that he's playing at, and that's it's benefits the Miami Dolphins. I'm just not ready to anoint him this great player yet. I just need to see more, and that's not a bad
Boom,
thing.
another pass, Allen. Oh, DJ Moore.
Improve.
30 yards, 35 yards to DJ Moore.
I have the Bears and the Browns on.
All right, guys, I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate you coming on. Sharif, I'll have to get you tomorrow, brother. I see you back there, but I gotta get out of here. Tomorrow,
you're gonna be around tomorrow.
Yeah, I got the Sunday morning NFL show, I think. So join us for that. You know, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Laugh and joke over there.
I'll be there. I gotta go watch. Hey Miller, that $1,000 bet's still good, man. So if you're man enough.
All right, I'll talk to you later. I'm like, enjoy your game.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
Listen, guys, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer for the team. You know, yesterday, great performance by our ones. Very happy with the first overall drive. Devon Achane, again, looking like Devon Achane. Was impressed with Caleb Douglas. I just need to see more. I need to see more before I anoint him the next Miami Dolphins #1 receiver. Raphael, are you playing fantasy football? Email me if you are. Offensive line look good. Depth is a concern. Backup quarterback is a concern. There's still time before the regular season. Hopefully these guys can just keep getting better. Just keep getting better. Grow on what we seen yesterday from our first team offense. I'd love to see it against the other team's first team defense, and I'll be super stoked. All right, email me so we can set things up. August 27th, the money's got to be in, and I think we're doing the draft the 28th. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Fins up. Great start to the preseason for the starters. The backups, the depth on this team is going to be an issue all season long. And it's just because of we just don't got the money to fill this roster out. And, you know, if we suffer any major injuries, hopefully we don't, knock on wood, you know, this team's going to struggle to overcome that. But very happy with the first team offense. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Fins up. Peace.